You know what I'm starting to believe about Andy Harris? Like, I already know that he thinks that Tupe Fiasco is his big daddy, right? Because Tupe Fiasco literally said, I'm their big daddy. And Andy Harris didn't deny it. I'm starting to think that he's also his sugar daddy. And Andy Harris is a sugar baby. And honestly, I'm a little jealous, right? Because all he has to do, because he's voted in and no one ever, holds him accountable for anything, all he has to do is listen to his daddy and he has his thing for the day, right? So his daddy, Tupe Fiasco, went on his own private social media network and started reposting things that were calling for the execution of Democratic lawmakers and Democratic veterans. The vets. That's supposed to be the party of patriotism, and we love the troops. Babies, I need y'all to be really for real about this. A man who was a coward and had his daddy's money pay his way out of getting drafted doesn't have an ounce of bravery in him that you do as a veteran, right? And he says that if you don't like him, he wants you gone. Because not only did he repost these things, he actually put it out there in words. It's disgusting and it's dangerous. And why did I start with Andy Harris? Because Andy Harris has the job that I want to have. I want to be your congresswoman so that I can help you take care of things that actually affect you on a daily basis, right? We want to make sure education is good for the kids. So we want to make sure that they don't have this downfall of the Department of Education, because it's not just about college loans. It's not just about content. It's about the fact that you have a child that's disabled that has an IEP, or you have an exceptional child that may need a 504 plan, and that won't exist anymore. That these Title I schools won't exist anymore. And what do we know about disabilities and children and everything else? Those things don't see political parties, right? I keep telling y'all, it's not left versus right. It's up versus down. And I'm sorry, if you're not wealthy like they are, you don't have the power like they do. Why do you think Andy Harris does everything that Tupe Fiasco says? Why do you think he calls him daddy? He calls Tupe Fiasco daddy because daddy has the power that he wants. He stole your power to give it to his daddy. Think about that for a second. Everybody's angry, right? And what they do is they pit us all against each other. White versus black, white versus Hispanic, left versus right, Democrat versus Republican, while they steal money out of your pocket, while they stole your power. They're trying to steal the power of knowledge away from you. And I keep saying, it's so corny to say knowledge is power, because that's what we learned as kids, right? If you're a millennial, you heard it multiple times. But it's true. The more you know, the more power you have. So you're not mad at me. I didn't take anything from you. Andy Harris took it from you. Andy Harris stealing your money and your power? Yeah, bless. So anyway, Andy Harris's daddy said, listen, I don't give a fuck about what any of y'all talking about. I want these people gone eternally. That's the nicest way I think it could go. So while Republican senators, because let's do facts are facts, right? While Republican senators are saying, hey, no, don't say that, don't do that, because I know that they know that that's one, wrong. It's wrong. Two, they remember January 6, 2021. And while they may, flip around with it, they know it wasn't a hoax, because we all saw it on TV. I remember where I was. I was sitting there trying to take care of my babies. And what the hell is happening, right? Where Tupe Fiasco did the same thing, inciting political violence on his own vice president. And that's why I don't get the loyalty to him. That was his dog. That was supposed to be his number 2 in command. And he told those people on the mall, go get him. They had nooses for him. They literally said they were going to unalive Mike Pence. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, yay, let's do that. So don't forget that. Josh Hawley was like, yeah, go get him. And then when he realized he was part of the them, he ran his ass out, right? Andy, you almost died. And I looked through all your social media, and you had not a moment where you told your daddy, please don't say that. And I knew he would have loved that, right? You are talking about, you had plenty of tweets from you and your staff harassing Stacey Plaskett, telling lies about the Affordable Care Act. Yeah, you did that too, talking about how you're trying to convince people. I'm assuming your constituents. You rarely talk about anything in Maryland's 1st District. I assume you're trying to tell them that, hey, you don't need to save money on insurance. Just kind of decide what you want. I'm asking you and begging for you, even if you voted for Andy Harris, don't fall for those lies, because your life depends on it. Your life depends on it. And I want y'all to pay attention to, whenever they want you to go against something that's good for you, they start throwing out Obamacare. It's called the Affordable Care Act. They want you to hate it. They want you to hate each other. They want us to hate each other so they can keep robbing and stealing and pillaging. And, you know, in his daddy's case, you know what the next thing I was going to say, right? Andy doesn't have a brave bone in his body to stand up for you in Maryland's 1st District. There's a lot of things he can talk about with healthcare right now, like the access that we lack, especially on the Eastern Shore, but even in Harford County with, you know, hospitals closing. He doesn't have the strength to say, you know what, let's talk about the overcrowding in schools. We do need federal funding for the education in Baltimore County and those overcrowded schools. We do need funding for all the kids and all the programs that need to happen in Harford County. We do need funding for better schools all over the shore, especially the lower shore. We do need to protect our Title I schools. He doesn't have the guts, the cojones, the ovaries to say, you know what? We need to work on bringing companies to the shore so that we can get the living wages up for people. I should be fighting to make sure that people are making enough money to deal with the rising housing costs. And that's not just buying a house, but the rental costs. Like, why are you working 40 hours a week and can't get assistance? If he had the cojones, if he had the heart, I forget the la coeur. Oh, that's French. If he had the heart, he would be out there saying, hey, you know what? We shouldn't have so many people on SNAP. But that's not a failure of the people. That's a failure of the fact that people aren't making enough money. They're working hard. They're out here doing the things. Maybe we shouldn't be rewarding Walmart with money on the backside if they can't pay for a living wage for people. That's what he could be doing with his federal position. That's what I would do with that federal position as your congresswoman. But Andy gets his orders from his daddy. And as a sugar baby, I think that that's what's in the job. Maybe y'all can tell me, I don't know. We got to get him out. You want to make a donation, you can at randyformd.com, Randy with an I, FORMD.com. I care about us. I'm from here. It's all of us for all of us, and I thoroughly mean it. And yeah, you know what? I do have audacity. I have the audacity to believe that we should expect more, and we should be bigger, and we should be better. And if you're in Maryland's 1st District, drop it in the comments. Tell me where you are. Tell me where you'd like to see me. We got more coming up, and I'm so excited to be able to represent you. We got some checking to do. Have a good Friday.